What's happening, everyone? My name is Max, and we are back for some more 17. This will be my first time reacting to one of their variety shows. This was a highly requested video, so I think it's time we check it out. 1 million won. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's get right into it. I'm excited here. I clearly missed all of that. Junghan will have an individual. I sort of get it, but whatever. We're looking at their communication skills. The game's not as important here. All right.
그리고 나서 또 뭐 우리끼리 갈라쓰든 아니 그게 아니라 첫 번째 거 정말 재미없게 우리 세븐틴의 반지를 걸고 반지까지 걸었어.
그냥 어쨌든 지금은 우리 어떻게 하고 싶은데 나는 그냥 팀위를 지키고 영으로 가고 싶어.
우리 다 그렇지 않아?
그래?
I'm already seeing a difference in some of these guys now that they're able to speak in Korean. Right off the bat, I'm seeing a different energy from the 8. The 8! The 8! Why is it the 8? Could someone tell me? And then also Mingyu as well. You're seeing his real like outgoing expressiveness right away. His demeanor is completely different.
너를 넣어놨거든.
팀명이 누군지 확인해 줄 수 있어?
쿱스, 민규, 호시야.
현실적인 상황에서 지금 우리가 팀명이 형을 이길 수가 없어.
100만 원으로 그냥 영원으로 끝내잖아. 나를 믿는다면 지금 가서 100만 원을 해. 난 다른 이 3명 빼고 나머지 애들한테 100만 원 하는 소리 안 할 거거든.
나는 지분 30% 줘.
네 30, 쟤 30, 쟤 30.
Mingyu's trying to play it tough. He's trying to be assertive and tough, but Junghan's not. He's not budging. He's standing his ground, but he's doing it in a calm manner, right? He's not getting flustered or rattled. And to me, Junghan is the one who's in control of this little negotiation here. So you don't always have to be the loudest when you're doing a negotiation. You just have to be able to think on your feet and be able to confidently stand your ground and know your position. To me, Junghan is not as emotional as Mingyu here, and as a result, it feels like he's sort of in control.
뭐 그럴 수도 있고 생각해 보자. 끝났어. 나쁘지 않은 것 같아. 이제 그만 돌아가. 우와 천재다 천재. 잘한다.
지분 20조.
Dino seems way more outgoing and expressive in this episode than I've seen him in the past interviews. Like, he's actually seems to be one of the more outspoken guys in the group.
아니,
넌 나한테 얼마 줄 수 있는데?
넌 날 어떻게 믿게 해줄 건데?
나는 네가 금액에 만약 딜을 치잖아. 내가 최소 벌 수 있는 것보다 많으면 내가 판마다 너한테 100만 원 다 줄게.
나는 지금 딱 3명 적어놨어. 내가 정확하게 꼬실 사람 3명이야. 쿱스, 민규, 호시 적어놨거든. 멤버들이 만약에 다 나를 도와줘. 뭐 사비 당연히 다 내줄 생각이야.
I think there's actually quite a few tips we can take away from Junghan here and his communication style, his negotiation style. The way he's speaking is very direct, very matter of fact. It's devoid of emotion, and I think he's just getting to the point right away. He's standing his ground, and he's often the first one to make the move or to ask the first question. He's establishing control of the conversation right away. Not only is he a really quick thinker, and he's obviously a really smart guy and a good problem solver, but I think what makes him successful in this position as well are his communication skills, or his negotiation skills. And he's looking right at the guys, he's succinct, he's not overly emotional, he's not going up and down in his pitch. He's like, this is the deal, this is it. So if you want to sort of have an upper hand in a conversation or in a negotiation, it's important to be aware of what the other person gets out of it.
100만 원만 받을게. 그리고 니네한테
그 나머지?
나머지 뭐 5만 원씩 주든.
아니 나는 고정 수익으로 줘.
아니 그건 안 돼. 왜냐면 니네가 아무리 잘해봤자
He's saying, no, I can't do that. So he's being very clear. He's setting his boundaries. He's saying what he can and can't do. And I think what that also does is it sets a level of trust up with the person that he's speaking with. Because if he's saying yes to everything, then it's like, okay, who else are you saying yes to?
10만 원보다 많이 줄 수 있어.
그렇지만 일단은 고정 수익 5만 원으로 해줄게.
에이세트
그냥
보는 거야?
무조건 주는 거야.
민규는 긍정적이었어.
완전 긍정적이야.
He's in control.
현실적으로 바라봤을 때 니네는 날 도와주는 게 이득인 거야.
Realistically speaking, it's easier for you to help me out, right?
적으로 바라봤을 때 니네는 날 도와주는 게 이득인 거야.
This is better for you. Junghan's positioning himself as the one who's not in the superior position, although he is, he's in control. He's leading the dialogue here. Like, he's the one that's setting the pace in all these interactions. There's actually a lot we can learn from his negotiation skills here. This is cool.
내가 이길 수 있는 게임이 아니야.
왜 그렇게 생각해?
빵원을 어떻게 만들 거야? 한 명이 배신하면? 너네 다 너무 배신감만 느끼고 그냥 돈도 없는 거야. 나한테 붙어.
어떻게 붙어?
저렇게 웃으면서 좋은 소리 한다고 애들이 속으로 다 똑같은 소리 하고 있을 것 같아? 지금 여기 앞에 다녀간 사람이 몇 명인데.
Whoa! Junghan laying it on here. Wow.
내가 60만 원 가져갈 거야. 근데 그게 한 사람일까? 너 한 사람?
왜 이렇게 많이 마음 못했어?
내가? 아니지.
어쨌든 12대 1인 거 몰라?
아 그럼 너는 가가지고 내신 당해.
그럼 형은 지금 자기를 따르겠다고 한 애를 체크를 해놨어?
당연한 거 아니야?
조금만 기다려주시면 안 될까?
그러니까 애들이 그걸 본다는 거지. 그거 붙여가 안 되는 거야. 믿음이 없는 거지.
I don't know if that was the best tactic for Junghan because I think he underappreciated the bond and the trust that I think the 12 guys have with one another here. Although there might be some shadiness, I don't know. I don't know if Sung Kwan took well to the fact that Junghan assumed that there was no trust there. I think that bothered him. And that's why he asked, why are you so evil?
왜 이렇게 많이 마음 못했어?
가자.
What a character Sung Kwan is. What a character. He's one of my favorites too, I think.
형이 어떤 생각을 하고 있니? 너의 진실된 속마음을 들어볼게.
우리끼리 단합이 잘 되는 것보다 형한테 붙어 먹어야 돈을 더 벌 수 있는 거잖아. 그 돈을 받아낼 수 있는 그 보장이 어디에 있냐?
나한테 있지. 네가 나한테 정확하게
Wow, okay. So Vernon's like straight up like against the guys right there. So forget everything I said. I don't know if they're all actually on each other's teams here.
내가 너한테 주겠지. 너는 나한테 붙는다고 하면 나한테 확신을 줘야
Yeah,
되잖아.
Vernon will go either
100만
way
원을
here.
입금하지 말고
He's
60만
willing to
원을
listen.
입금해.
60만 원을
왜냐면
입금해야 돼.
60만 원이 있으면은 너가 나한테 붙은 걸 내가 확인할 수 있잖아.
그럼 지금 우리 대화의 결론은 뭐야?
60만 원 입금해. 날 믿는다면.
오케이.
I like how Vernon got to the point there. Very straight up, very matter of fact, no games here. Like,
어떻게 보장해 줄 건데?
내가 보장해줄게.
형이 뭔데?
나한테 돈이 오잖아. 난 너를 따로 챙겨주면 돼. 사비로 내는 거 걱정하지 말고 내가 다 메꿔줄 거야.
형이 그럼 보험이라는 소리야?
보험이 아니라 내가 맞는 길이야. 근데 이거는 지금 그건 거야. 그냥 윤정환을 이겨라. 니네가 날 이길 수 있는 거야. 근데
I think DK might be the easiest one to be swayed. I think a guy like Wonu, I haven't seen Wonu yet. Mingyu might be a little bit more difficult. Sung Kwan, I think, is difficult to get swayed. But I think DK, he doesn't seem as skeptical as a lot of the other guys do.
이길 수 있는 방법이 없는 게임이야 이거는. 왠지 알아? 돈이 걸려 있잖아. 너 5만 원 갖고 싶어? 빵원 갖고 싶어?
5만 원.
그치? 나한테 와.
다 영어 쓰면 안 되는 거 아니에요?
써도 돼.
그러면 다 영어 썼을 때
If they all got together and had like a good conversation and were all on the same page beforehand, I'm sure they can get their shit together and win. But now as this game goes on, like I'm starting to think, you know, Junghan's gonna come out on top. Like I just don't think they're actually solid enough. Now that I think about it, they haven't really solidified a strategy. It doesn't seem like they're all on the same page.
썼을 때 결과가 어떻게 나는데?
우리 100만 원, 그냥 우리가 이긴 거야.
이 심리 싸움의 묘미는 정한이 형한테 너무 가는 사람이 있느냐 없느냐야.
너 뭐 적었어, 형아?
승관이 형이 아까 얘기하고 난 뒤로 표정이 좀 달라졌어. 왜냐면 나는 이거에 넘어갈 사람이 있을까라는 고민이 좀 많이 되더라.
그게 너라면?
See, like Dino's already not trusting of Sung Kwan, right? He's calling him out. And that's not good, right? Especially in a team exercise. If you start calling people out and you're not trusting of them, then you're starting to plant seeds of distrust in other people's heads. And that's not good.
승관이 마피아 할 때 표정 나왔어. 갔다 오고 나서 긴장이 됐는지 커피를 마셔.
계단 내려올 때 조금 야비해 보이긴 했어.
그건 약간
Junghan's going to look at all this and sense the instability, and he's probably going to play off of it, right?
내 파일을 보면서 나는 날 따라온 사람들에게 6대 4로 줄 거야. 내가 4고 6을 니네한테 나눠줄 거야.
우리한테 6을 준다고? 사실 나는 오기 전부터 생각이 있었어.
Notice when DK asked him a question,
우리한테 6을 준다고?
immediately Junghan answered, yep. Like there's no second guessing in his tone. There's no hesitation. And I think when we come from a place of conviction, and what I mean by that is we're not hesitating when we say something, I think the person listening to us has a much better chance of believing what we say. I've talked about this before on this channel, but there's a communication formula. 1/3 of communication is tone. So a lot of our tone has to do with things like not hesitating, going up and down in our pitch patterns, being straightforward or direct in our tone, expressing or emphasizing certain words, right? All these things contribute to tone.
낯설어요.
아유 낯설다니요.
여기서부터 정한이 형한테 우리 그러니까 못 넘어갈 것 같아. 왜냐면 액수가 너무 커.
너무 쉽지 않아? 그냥 돈을 조금 더 벌어서 그냥 정한이 형이랑 나눠 가질 것이냐 아니면은 돈을 안 가져가더라도 그냥 한번 저 형을 이겨보겠다 그거 말고 없어.
Uzi's got the right idea here, right? He's got the right idea. That's it. Just don't be selfish here. Just take a little bit less money and we're good.
그게 마음이 다 맞아야
Yes,
되는 건데.
Josh
다른
is right.
게임이었으면은 저 형한테 넘어가가지고 뭐 이렇게 돈 좀 벌어보겠다 이런 농담이라도 하겠어 재미로. 어차피 게임 컨텐츠니까.
그냥 네가 하고 싶은 거 하고 됐어 이미 끝났어.
형 왔다 만들어 보자 우리.
그래 호시야 우리는 마피아 의리가 있잖아.
어떻게 할래?
내가 지금 여기 적어놓은 사람이 있어.
Right away establishing a connection with Hoshi as a leveraging tool in this negotiation. Good tactic there.
나는 그냥 그런 거 생각 안 하고 그냥 툭 적었어. 어느 정도 감이 잡혀야 우리 그때부터 줄여나가는지 맞춰나가는지.
그래 우리 그때 계산 한번 해보자.
정말 우리 영어 다 영어 쓰면은 하겠지. 근데 너무 재미없지 않을까 싶어서. 정말 세븐틴의 의리 확인 코너 컨텐츠도 아니고.
게임이 아니니까 이게.
그렇게 갈 거면 진짜 다크로 갔어야 돼.
These guys are quick, man. They're really quick. They're really fun. They bounce off each other really, really well. I like them a lot. DK, man, he's such a light for this group. I feel like he's like an important part of this group. Like he just opens himself up to be laughed at, and I think that's just a part of his charm. To me, he's one of the bright lights in the group. He's just a complete goof.
너가 내 돈을 뺏어가도 되고
저는 이제부터 형랑 모르는 사이야.
가져가도 돼. 형 말 들어봐. 너가 나한테 돈을 준다면 난 너에게 도움을 줄 거야. 근데 네가 여기에서 만약에 나한테 돈을 안 주고 뺏어가잖아? 그럼 멤버들이 만약에 나한테 주는 사람이 있잖아? 너는 손해를 보게 봐.
형 되게 영화에서 나쁜 사람 같아 지금.
These guys are a little intimidated by him. And now that like Junghan's like warmed up now he's had a few negotiations, few conversations, like now he's just sort of hitting his stride and guys are coming in fresh. They haven't negotiated at all. June is like a fish out of water here. He's just, I feel like he's got no chance here now.
있잖아? 너는 손해를 보게 봐.
형 되게 영화에서 나쁜 사람 같아.
손해를 볼 수밖에 없어.
일단 네 알겠어요. 일단 알겠어요.
오케이. 그러면은 형 따라올 거야 안 따라올 거야?
제가 생각해보고요. 나도.
그럼 가가지고 그냥 마음대로 돈 쓰고 그냥 하면 돼.
In a game like this, I think logos or logic has a lot to do with conviction and persuasion. Emotion might not necessarily be as needed in a game like this, although I'm sure you can incorporate it in some way, but it seems to be working really well for Junghan without the emotion.
혹시 까볼래 그러면?
나 마이너스 20만 줬어. 나는 100만 줬어.
줬어?
근데 별로 중요하지 않다고 생각해 나 그게.
지금 안 중요해. 난 마이너스 20. 계산하기 어려워.
야 근데 그 형 많이 잘하는데?
잘해 준비 많이 했어.
생각보다 많이 줬네 우리. 형이 100을 적어버렸어?
1200만 원 안 넣으면은 다 뒤집을 수 있는 거라.
어차피 가져.
And now they're really impressed with him too, right? Now they're giving him his props.
이 분위기만 이어가. 우리가 1라운드에서 많이 던져도 2라운드에 원상복귀 시켜. 그리고 만약에 저 형 뒤통수 칠 3라운드 때 최종 결정을 해. 우리가 100을 가져가 그러면. 근데 여기서 만약에 몇 명이 저 형한테 한 100만 원을 줬어. 그럼 그 사람들이 사비로 손해를 보는 거야. 우리가 단체 거기서 나누는 거지.
근데 그걸 어떻게 믿냐고.
믿었는데 지금.
믿었지 너.
야 너 지금 계약서 쓰고 왔지?
그러니까 믿었다가 한 번 더 생각을 해보니까 안 그럴 수도 있겠다라고 생각을 하는 거지. 맞지?
In a way, Dino doesn't feel like the youngest here. He actually seems a lot more mature in this video than the other video that I watched. Dino has a lot of confidence, the way he expresses himself. He's not afraid to express himself. And he's not afraid to call some of the other guys in the group out.
나한테 붙었다고 확신을 할 수가 없잖아.
그치. 그냥 나에 있어서 가장 최대의 금액을 말한 거야.
난 너의 생각이 어떨지는 모르겠지만 그리고 너를 설득하려고 생각도 처음엔 안 했어. 왜냐면 난 너네 12명 중에 한 명만 설득하면 되거든.
그치.
그래서 그냥 네가 나한테 도와주면 나는 당연히 거기에 맞는 합당한 보수를 줄 거야.
Again, very direct. He's saying exactly what he's going to do. I'm going to pay you what is owed. He's letting him know what's going to happen. And I think he's taking on a little bit of a different demeanor here with Wonu. You see Junghan smiling a little too, right? So he's showing a little bit of emotion. I think he's trying to use different tools and tactics in order to get Wonu on his side. And Wonu, he's a little bit more skeptical, right? He's a little more skeptical. I think he's going to be a little bit harder for Junghan to crack, although Junghan really taking control of this meeting again.
한동안 머리를 너무 안 쓰긴 했어. 우리 너무 몸만 썼어. 너무 좋아 나 너무 좋아.
우리 지금 이미지가 거의 술 먹고 족구 하는 애들이야.
아주 좋아요 이런 컨텐츠. 내 생남 되게 해주세요.
영어는 어떻게 설득 당할 준비를 하고 왔니? 아니면은 아예 그냥 설득 안 당할 준비를 하고 왔니?
그냥 들어보고 싶어.
I love how they just go in and out of like talking about how they're going to win this game and then just kind of making jokes about themselves, right? There's a real lightheartedness to this group of guys. They're playful, and they actually have like a bit of self-deprecating humor as well, which you don't really often find. I haven't often found with K-pop groups or Korean groups in general. You know, they're smart, they're quick with their humor, they're quick-witted guys.
그냥 많은 애들을 더 설득할 필요도 없고.
이미 있어?
뭐 너 나름대로 생각하면 되겠지만 저렇게 웃으면서 얘기하는 게 진짜 쟤네 내비침이 맞을까? 속마음이 맞을까? 다 저기에서 니네끼리 좋은 소리 하겠지.
That was a good question by The8. I like that.
이미 있어?
And that actually, I think, threw Junghan for a spin there. See what happens when you ask a question and you turn at the tables in a negotiation or a conversation? The person who has all their points lined up in their head, it sort of like throws a curveball into their script. So I like what The8 did there.
너네가 아무리 잘해도 7만 원이잖아. 아무리 못해도 내가 5만 원을 챙겨줄 거야. 근데 내 파이가 엄청나게 커진다면 5만 원이 뭐야? 훨씬 더 챙겨줄 수 있지. 나는 내 이득은 확실히 챙길 거야. 근데 거기에서 이제 니네들을 챙겨줄 거야. 너네를 버리지 마.
오케이.
나한테 좋게 해주려면 제일 큰 돈을 불러주는 게 제일 좋아.
Okay, so he's deciding if he trusts him or not. And it's interesting how The8, I like what he did. He got up, he didn't shake his hand because I feel like he didn't want to show that he was deceptive at all to the guys, right? He wants to show that he's still on their team. And they're kind of looking up and seeing what's happening. So The8 actually might have played that negotiation the best out of all the guys. And like I said at the very beginning, he seems decisive, he seems quick, and he seems confident. And again, he's one of the guys that's taking the game a little bit more seriously here.
슈아야, 난 이제 너 얘기를 들을게. 앞에 많은 사람들이 지나갔잖아. 나한테 붙을래 말래?
쉽지 않은 것 같아.
확실히 생각하면 나한테 붙는 게 맞는 거고.
한 명이 붙어봤자.
한 명이 붙으면 내가 이기는 거야.
그러니까 내가 너한테 붙.
He's speaking really quickly too. He's making it seem like he's very competent, knows exactly what's going on. He's in control. So as a result, you have to listen to him. Like the guy who seems like he's most knowledgeable in a certain area or activity is the one we generally trust. Junghan is establishing himself as this credible source, as this knowledgeable source, and as a result, the guys are listening to him.
결과는 띵! 310만 원.
아니지 심지어 410만 원을 많이 줬네 이 사람들. 정산할 게 맞나 봐요.
왜 화내냐고 그러세요?
누구세요? 모르겠어요. 정산할 게 맞나 봐요. 정산할 게 맞나 봐요.
That was cool. Sungkwan is such a performer, and so is DK. And Uzi can get in there too. He doesn't have that same natural flair as Sungkwan and DK, but you know, he definitely appreciates the humor more than I thought he would. So I love him. I feel like he's got to be one of the most lovable guys in the group. I feel like everyone loves Uzi. I appreciate the recommendation. If there's any other videos I need to check out, please do let me know. If you want to watch my uncut reaction and analysis, all you need to do is go to my Patreon page. I've included the link in my description below. Other than that, my name is Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.